So rapper Nelly is pushing back. Okay, he's firing back at backlash because he supported Trump, or really not supported Trump. He performed at a Trump inauguration, and he's firing back at the K-Hive, calling them hypocrites for their political standard of pro-blackness. We got to get into it.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters, beloved family. Appreciate you guys for watching. We're at Afro Elite. I'm Afro Elite, okay? And we're here together. We have much to discuss, all right? Thank you all for watching. We're going to discuss some things, a little bit of controversy going on with rapper Nelly and a couple of other things. If you guys didn't know, Nelly, the rapper, this is Nelly, old school rapper, hip hop. I mean, he's been in hip hop for decades and decades at this point. Okay, him and Snoop performed, and we did a live about this a while ago. Him and Snoop performed at a event after the election for Donald Trump. It was like a, it was associated with Donald Trump. He wasn't there, but it was it was like a inauguration. It was like a after party inauguration, something of the sort, right? And a lot of people were calling them sellouts, and a lot of people was getting upset about them and all of that stuff. And now there's actually some pushback, and the K-Hive is actually kind of being called out for it. We're going to play some clips. Now, before we do that, I'm going to play the copyright disclaimer to establish to everything that everything that we played thus forth will be copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Y'all, they always doing something. It's fine. I don't know why my internet just disconnected, but we're back now. There's always something, man. That's why y'all got to hit that like button. That's why y'all got to do that. Okay, y'all got to hit that like button for that reason. All right, I want to start off with this Snoop, and I like Snoop. You know what I'm saying? Icon in rap. You know what I'm saying? You can't take that away from him. But Snoop said something. He was on the Breakfast Club, and we already played the copyright thing. He was on the Breakfast Club, and he had made a response to. Okay, what is going on? He had made a response to the controversy, right? That's what he said. He made a response to the controversy, right? So we're gonna play that. This is what he had to say. Okay, hold on. They are really. Wow, hold on. They're really doing something tonight. Okay. Okay, hold on. Here it is.
They kept taking the video saying, well, he said this about Trump back then, but then he DJ. But it's not, you didn't endorse nobody, you DJ the party.
But those are bots. And then there's entertainers who was getting behind it and trying to make something out of it, which to me is like most of those guys, they live off of the internet and live off of that energy. The things that I do, even if I would have done it for him and hung out with him and took a picture with him, can't none of you motherfuckers tell me what I can and can't do. But I'm not a politician. I don't represent the Republican Party. I don't represent the Democratic Party. I represent the motherfucking gangster party. Period, point blank. And G shit, we don't explain shit. So that's why I didn't explain. That's why I didn't go into detail when motherfuckers was trying to counsel me and say he a sellout. Even on my Instagram page, like after that, I would post shit and I see motherfuckers like, oh, he a sellout. You know what I would do? Jump right in their motherfucking DM with a video. You bitch ass nigga, what's happening, nigga?
Shut your bitch ass
Snoop
up.
Dogg, nigga, what you want to do? And guess what they would do? Oh, man, I'm just a fan, man. I didn't really, I'm sorry, man. Snoop, yeah, nigga. You got me fucked up, nigga. I jump all off in your shit, nigga, and talk to you face to face. Don't hit me on no he'll sell out on Instagram or this and that, because I'm really engaging like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And my work should speak for me. Like, don't take my personal or my business and try to involve it in my life on who I am as a person. The things that I do in real life should matter to you more.
Okay. We're going to stop that right there. I'm going to say initially, all right? I don't I mean, I don't like the fact that people are holding Snoop to a different standard. That I will say that off rip, because if you're going to get mad at Snoop off rip, you got to get mad at Megan Thee Stallion. You got to get mad at Glorilla. You got to get mad at LeBron. You got to get mad at Tyler Perry. You got to get mad at Oprah. You got to get mad at DJ Hughley, Steve Harvey. You got to get mad at everybody. Okay, so we're not going to hold Snoop Dogg to a different standard than we're holding everybody else to. All right. So if they can, and this is after the election, if they can endorse her to try to get people to vote for her and they don't get no pushback, okay, from the majority, even though they did get a lot of pushback from the grassroots. But if they don't get no pushback for it, Snoop should be able to hold himself to the same standard, or we should hold him to the same standard, right? So off rip, I'm gonna say that. Then I do also have to say this though. Snoop, I can't stand with this excuse. The whole, well, gangsters don't have to explain anything, and my character should speak for myself, and y'all shouldn't even be questioning me. I can't rock with that. I can't do that. Why? And we said this on episode of the For the Culture thing. I can't do that, not just because, okay, not because of that, because this is what you were like.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? Osby's the one that performs for himself.
Yeah, no, man. No, we're not gonna do that. We are not gonna do that. We're not gonna sit up here and be all like, Snoop, you was getting on everybody's bumper. You were getting on other black folk bumper about supporting him. Okay, then you turn around and do an event. Now, whether he was there at the event or not, this is politics. If you're doing something at a Kamala event, that is in support of Kamala. Okay. If you're doing something at a Trump event, people can't say that is in support of Trump. That might not be an endorsement, okay, but it does show at the very least indifference to Donald Trump's presidency. Okay, it does reflect a political stance. And my only issue is your lack of consistency with your own standard, because you set the standard that if anybody did something for Donald Trump, that they would be a sellout and you gonna roast them and whatever the case is. Then you wind up doing something his next term and you be all like, well, I'm a gangster, so I don't have to explain anything. No, I'm gonna hold you to the same standard and say, hey, I can't let that slide, Snoop. That's not cool. That's not cool. You gonna have to take an L on that one, man. Because even if you done do good stuff for the community, even if you have, I'm not taking that away from you. But yeah, I just can't. No, we cannot let that slide. No, okay, because at that point, man, you can't be here and there and depending on what fits you best. Nah, that's not how that's gonna work. All right. Keeping that same energy though, I want to address something. You all know that DJ Vlad is a culture vulture, a suspected white supremacist that we've been boycotting. There's a lot of black people who've been boycotting, and somebody had recently broke that, which was Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar broke the boycott and he went on DJ Vlad and did an interview. Now, what's very interesting about this is that Lord Jamar did it, and Lord Jamar was one of the people who spearheaded the boycott. He was one of the main ones to be all like, hey, we should not talk to Vlad. We should leave Vlad alone. We shouldn't watch Vlad. We shouldn't go to Vlad. We shouldn't do an interview with Vlad. We shouldn't do that. We should leave him alone. He was one of the main ones doing that. Now, everybody in the community, was a lot of people in the community who was already on that page, but he got on several different videos, several different times, and made it firmly clear because of Vlad's disrespect to Farrakhan, even though he has other things that we should have struck him out for. But that was the straw that broke the camel's back to cause Lord Jamar to be all like, no, we're not doing that. Then, like, what, 15 something years later, if it's been that long, I suppose he apologized. I suppose Vlad apologized. And then next thing you know, Lord Jamar comes there and he does a damn interview with Vlad after years of telling people that we should stay away from Vlad. So then now here Lord Jamar comes with some type of explanation, and it goes into the same principle of, hey man, if you're gonna say something, and as men, we got to make sure that this, in whether it's Snoop Dogg, whether it's Lord Jamar, whether it's whoever, if we're gonna say, hey, if you're gonna get out here and make a statement, make a stance, and tell a group of people that we all need to get behind this statement and stance, and then you violate your own statement, you violate your own stance, yeah, we're gonna check you for that. You don't have the right to sit up there and be all like, I'm a grown man, I can do what I want to do. No. You made a statement, you made a stance, you violated your own rule, you broke your own promise. And if we're going to have a functioning society, we can't just sit up there and have people making promises and breaking them. No, if you make a promise, break a promise, we have to address that. So this is what we did, and his is what he had to say about it.
So recently, I went on Vlad TV, and some people were very happy about that.
Now, for context, if y'all didn't know, Lord Jamar is half Jamaican and half FBA. All right.
Who were disappointed. I'm hearing that people made videos, showing their discontent and all of that. All I can say is my obligation is to civilize the uncivilized, okay? My job is not to preach to the choir. And many times you need to go where the uncivilized people are at. Now, originally, this whole Vlad boycott started because he didn't apologize to Minister Farrakhan. Well, fast forward 5 years later, he's apologized. I know what I said about Mr. God.
Okay, you said 5 years. I said 15. If the fact that it took him 5 years, it took him 5 years to apologize, that means he's not sorry. Point blank, that means if you did something and a whole community is saying, hey, what you did was wrong, what you did was disrespectful, and you need to apologize, and you say, no, I'm not going to apologize, hell no, I'm not going to apologize, and you keep that stance for 5 years, and then on year 6, you be all like, hey, yeah, you know what, now I think about it, my bad, I shouldn't have did that. That's not no real apology. And it shows a lot of Lord Jamar. Why was you itching to get back there? So you mean you say, no, we're not going to do it until you apologize. He takes 5 years to apologize. And then you're all like, yo, okay, cool. Let's do an interview. You should have a time frame between when an apology is acceptable or not. I don't accept his apology personally. And even if he was 100% sorry, he still has a lot of other issues that he's done to make him be a pariah in the community, as far as I'm concerned. If it takes somebody 5 years, you're talking about, yeah, okay, on the day of, we're going to do an interview, like all's forgiven, like it's water under the bridge? No. And people are getting on his bumper about it, respectfully, because he was the one to campaign against that. And he was calling people out for that. And now that, because I guess it suits him, or I don't know if he got another project and he wanted that advertisement, he's going to go back on his word. And then he's going to be all like, oh, and come out with some type of explanation, some splaining. And if we're going to have a functioning society, we can't have this. Okay. We can't have men like this. All right. Now, come on. Hold on. Let me get back to it.
Godfrey. And yeah, I guess that looked bad. Me saying that about him and then changing my mind. But guess what? As a grown man, I have the right to change my mind. Once certain information, more information comes into play about certain things that I'm not going to get into the full specifics of, but I have more clarity on the situation as a whole. And that's the decision I decided to do when looking at the big picture. So,
okay, well, and
anyone who's a true supporter of me, who actually subscribes to my channel.
Notice too, oh, there was more information. Notice he's not saying any more information. What was the information that had you change your mind? Besides some sorry ass, late ass apology. Oh, yeah, I mean, I do have the right to change my mind. Okay, what made you change your mind? No, you don't get to just say, well, yeah, I stood on something for 5 years and then whoops, year 6, I changed my mind. And oh, no, okay, yeah, we need a little bit more than that.
Who actually, donates regularly and gives super chats. If I disappointed you, pardon me. I love you and pardon me.
I'm gonna be honest. No, that's not a good look. That's not a good look, man. That's not a good look. And the reason why it's not a good look is because you made a stance. My thing is, if you want to change your mind, and there are people who change their mind. If you want to change your mind on a stance, fine. You need to make this announcement like, hey, this is what I thought before. This is why I thought Buop the Bam before. This is what I've learned since then. And this is why I think this now, because I've learned this since then. You don't get to like sneak and do an interview and then make a response talking about, well, yeah, I learned some vague new information and I changed my mind. That's not how you do that. Okay. And if anything, you should have stuck to the principle. Even if you did change your mind, you should have stuck to the principle of it's been 5 years. I got to stick to this. I gotta stand on my square. I gotta stick to it. If it was that big, first off, if it was only that one thing, which it's not, but if it was only that one thing and you wind up learning some new things, you need to thoroughly explain that. All right. I still wouldn't have did the interview. I still can't condone that. But you should have thoroughly explained that you did none of that. So yeah, like that stuff is kind of weak, and it's coming off really as low-key cowardice. Okay. That is honestly coming off as dishonorable. To be very honest with you, it's coming off as dishonorable. And I haven't heard no apology. Not that I was looking at DJ Vlad's channel. I don't know if he did or made a post online or whatever the case may be, but I haven't heard no apology. I haven't heard no apology. So man, you got to do better than that, man. Now that leads us. You know, my mouse is perfectly fine until I get on live. The second I hit that live button, my mouse starts messing up. It's very interesting. But that leads us to Nelly. Nelly performed for I guess Donald Trump's inauguration, and he's been facing a lot of flack about that. Now, one thing I will say is Nelly never made a stance against Donald Trump, though. He hasn't made a stance against Donald Trump. His stance was, he from what I've seen, Nelly didn't come out and endorse Donald Trump or diss Donald Trump before or after. But people got on Nelly's case and Snoop Dogg's case. And this is what somebody had to say. He did an interview with Hot 97, and they spoke on that. And this is what he had to say. Man, what the hell is going on?
they've been had you under fire, man. We've been talking about your political stances out here.
Oh yeah.
You still on your pro Donald Trump stance?
See, this is what I'm saying. What did you get pro Donald?
I didn't actually
What did
get
you
pro.
get pro? What you had was respect for office.
Okay.
And it's great how people spin narratives to things that I think best fit whatever they're against. You know what I'm saying? Instead of giving a brother the exact fundamental of what he did, what he said. Nobody's doing that anymore. Everybody's, oh, if you did this, you're for him. And it's amazing how you could do something, but if you don't agree with everything that somebody does, which I plainly said that, I don't agree with everything my wife does. So to be in a situation to where, no, I have respect for the office. This person does some things good. This person does something good. And what I didn't see is that just a year before that, I actually did an event with Vice President Kamala Harris at that time. Nobody ever brought it up. Nobody ever
Yeah, but
said.
that's not going to get the clicks.
Now that's interesting. Now, if he's doing events for Kamala, then we're gonna hold him to the same standard. And that's, come on now. He's doing events. Come on. If he's doing events for her and he's doing events for Trump, y'all not gonna be able to say, oh, he sold out because it's Trump and he's not selling out because it's Kamala. That is one thing I will say. I think Nelly gets a little bit more leeway as far as I'm concerned, because y'all are making it seem like Trump is a bad guy and Kamala's not a bad guy and Biden was not a bad guy. I mean, y'all will literally fight tooth and nail to make Kamala and Biden both seem like they both good guys to black people, and neither of them were. Neither of them ever have been. Yet any celebrity can get out there and endorse them, cheer for them, campaign for them, and they don't get no sellout allegations. But yet, if a celebrity, Nelly, if he does this after the election, next thing you know, he becomes a sellout. Now, did he do it for the community? No, I don't think. I mean, come on now. No, he didn't. It wasn't for the community. He did it for himself and for his own interest. But my thing is keeping the same standard. That's what my thing is.
Well, of course, because I see the way you even posed the question.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The way you even brought the question in was clickbait.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, Nelly, your political stance. I don't think I said that. I think I said I have respect for the office and whoever is in office. It was truly an honor because ain't none other president ever asked me to do anything. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It doesn't mean you agree with how that president
never
is
endorsed
moving.
him. You never endorsed
I never endorsed any president. You know what I'm saying? I've never did that a day in my life. What I did say is that I'm a military brat. I love our men and women that service this country. I've done things all around this country. I've entertained the troops. Nobody bring that up. I've stay
man. You know people don't want
stay
the
a
truth.
commitment in my community. You know what I'm saying? And I have a beautiful black family.
Okay. Okay. So people did not like that. People didn't like that. People hold him and said, oh, you a sellout, you this, you that, and you shouldn't have said nothing. You shouldn't have did that. I think that response was enough. That response was enough. It was cool. It was respect. That's all he needed to say, was that I didn't make a political stance. I'm not here to endorse anybody. I'm not here to shame nobody. This is just because I'm, a military kid and I did this. It's an honor to perform for a president. He asked. I did one for Kamala. That's no problem. It's clickbait. That's all he needed to say. He didn't need to do the most. No more, in my opinion, personally. That's not what he did. That's not what he did. He came out with this long post. Y'all can't read it because the font's too small, so I'm going to read it for you. He came out with this long post on Instagram afterwards saying, I'll put whatever me and Snoop do more in the community, and it's a lot of typos in here, and have been doing for over 20 years against any of you who are just here talking trash and have no stats to back up what you mean to the community. From the black families we employ to the black children we help every day and all year through our nonprofits. Whether we're sending kids to school on scholarships to HBCU or helping young black boys in LA Gang Central with his junior football programs. I guess I don't know if that's Snoop things or Kelly's thing. It says which many players have went on to go to the NFL and live their dreams. And on top of that, we quote black men are married to beautiful black women with black children. Should be inspiring to most, but some of y'all have a problem with that because the prosecutor, quote, the prosecutor who has probably locked up more black men than we have helped, women of color with a white husband. Ooh, he's digging. He said with the white husband, with the white husband and white kids did not win the election. Again, I reiterate, I did not campaign for anyone. I don't tell people who to vote for. I respect and love our country from top to bottom and good and bad. And I am very aware it is a lot of things in this country we need to work on. The right is too far right and the left is too far left. I'm a military baby with a grand uncle who was a Tuskegee Airman and a red tail that was very prideful for this country. I told you it's my respect for the office, meaning any president that calls upon Nelly, it would be an honor. Nothing to do with money, nothing to do with race. Okay. But if you want to make it about race, then let's. And it says, let's go. Okay. I guess he's quoting Gorilla. Okay. I find it very interesting. It's so many of you would dump on two black men that's married to black women that have black children because the quote woman of color, notice he's not calling her black, the woman of color with a white husband and white kids didn't win. He says, it's so crazy that y'all would literally go after black men who is doing their best jobs, but continue to make money for white platforms that was there to support him. Shaking my head. Okay. All right, then. All right. So he was all like, hey, man, y'all calling me out. Y'all calling me a sellout. Y'all calling me this and that. And Kamala, the person of color, and notice he kept calling her the woman of color. Kamala, this woman of color, this woman of color, this woman of color. Kamala, this damn woman of color. She don't do nothing for black people. She's done a lot of anti-black things. And y'all not calling nobody out for supporting her. Hey, first off, I'm gonna say this. I got a couple things to say. It comes off not that you are wrong for that, but there's a right and a wrong way to do certain things. That comes off as you crashing out. You saying that, making an Instagram post, I've done this for the community, that for the community, and we've done this. Okay, I get it. If people calling you a sellout or whatever the case is, I get that. The first off, the inauguration thing, that was like 6 months ago. All right. It was about 6 months ago. So the fact that you are this angry about it still is like, that's not a good look. Now, I do like the fact that somebody's calling out the fact that just because she's a woman of color means that she's for black people. We need to get that established. Kamala was not for black people. Okay, she was not for black people. We're not gonna sit up here and play no game like any supporting her was a support for the community. No, nobody who supported her was doing that. None of the celebrities, I mean, who supported her was doing that for what was in the best interest of the community. They could have gave a damn. They did it because it was in the best interest of themselves. Cool, but don't frame it as if this is a pro-black thing to do. So he said that. I don't think he needed to say that. I think that the interview would have been enough. But I think him when you make a post on Instagram like that, it always comes off as you explaining and you giving a response to the community and to haters. Because now you've raised this and now other people are getting on you. So you got people who are getting on him about it. Look at this.
Of gut.
So this woman is sitting up there, I guess, quote unquote, she's a Hispanic woman. She looked Asian at first, but she's Hispanic and she's getting on Nelly's case about that, about quote unquote calling out Kamala. So now Nelly, I keep saying Kelly, Nelly has gotten the K-Hive activated. So now they're coming on him.
The hypocrisy of gutless sellout Nelly trying to punch down and attack a black woman because she has a white husband. But Nelly is over here putting on modern day minstrel shows, performing for white audiences like he's still on the plantation. He's too cowardly to punch up and confront the white power structure he tap dances for. He can't even stand up for himself or his community against his white oppressors. Instead, he'll sacrifice his dignity and sell himself and his entire community out for some pocket change. Nelly, Mr. Tip Drill, boasts about him being married to a black woman like it's supposed to mean something, coming from someone who objectified and sexualized black women for fame and money. We all remember you sliding credit cards down the cracks of black women's asses, sir. Also included in Mr. Tip Drill's commentary was him tokenizing his charity work for the black community as if crumbs excuse the fact that he proudly supported Donald Trump, a lifelong racist with a well-documented history of oppressing black people.
Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe just pause that real quick. And this is not to sit up there and be no damn MAGA loving Trump supporter, but are you going to make the same type of video about all of the celebrities that supported and endorsed Joe Biden, who has a much longer and much more egregious history against black people? Are you going to do that? Are you? Oh, he's doing a minstrel show? Because the way I see it, every single person who did that for Biden and Obama and Kamala did the same type of minstrel show. So yeah, we're not gonna sit up here and move the. And first off, you're not even black, so the fact that you calling out this is an infighting thing. This is family issues. We're dealing with a family issue right now. So you need to step out the room. That's what you need to do. Okay. The fact that you even speaking on this. Okay. No. We're not doing that. And no, we're not gonna. Oh, you slit. You had some music video. Yeah, he was wilding in some music videos before, but in the 90s and stuff, in the early 2000s. Okay, yeah, he had some music videos that was raunchy. Okay, but we're not gonna see. Oh, you're talking about her white husband. Yes, because he has shown a level to hate it, and I'm not saying he doesn't have flaws, but he's shown, at least with that his dedication and his love for the community is there. Okay, because I can guarantee you, if he was married to a white woman, y'all would be calling that out. So he was like, oh yeah, you can't act like marrying a black woman is a flex. It is if you compare that to the person who married a white person. It's not I wouldn't say it's a flex. But if you're comparing the person who married a black person to the person who married a white person and is no way connected to the community, yeah, you can make that comparison. All right, you can.
And who is now dismantling the civil rights black people bled, cried, and fought for over generations, on top of the fact that this disastrous bill in the House is designed to further drive black people into economic poverty. So with all due disrespect, fuck your charity work. You've sided with the Klan and signed on to the destruction of your own people.
Ma'am, no. And this ain't me. I'm not no super big Nelly fan like that. It's not like about me being no Nelly fan or nothing. But you not gonna be able to say F your community work. If he's doing things for our community, you don't have no right. Now we're not doing that now. And see, this is what happens when you align yourself with a political party. A lot of people in the chat room like, yeah, get them. No. Hey, no, we got to have this, whether you agree with what Nelly did. And I'm not saying I agree. I don't think Nelly should have did that personally, to be honest. Especially you doing that for a politician, it's going to indicate that is a support of that politician. That is what it indicates, okay? I wouldn't have did it, but I'm not a rapper. I'm not a music artist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in Nelly's position. But personally, I wouldn't have did that. But okay, fine. Okay, and now I wouldn't have performed for Kamala either. Okay, not at all. But okay, fine. He did do that, and as the community, we can address that. You're not going to be able to sit up there and be all like, man, F your community work. Oh, you stepping out of bounds. You're not even supposed to be in this room. Who let you in the juke joint? Hell no, you vampire, you better step out of here. No, we not doing that. And this is what happens when folks start letting their political affiliations make other people feel comfortable addressing our community. Don't do that. No, you are not welcome. No. Talk about whether he right or wrong. You don't got the right to say that. I want to talk about, now we got another person crashing out, getting all upset and stuff. Hold on. Damn. Computers don't do that. Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna get a new keyboard. Every time I go live, my keyboard acts like it don't want to work. Look at this.
I was gonna leave it.
Oh, yep, you know it. You already know it. You already know it. Here we go.
Look, I was gonna leave it alone, but I changed my mind. So Nelly thinks it's cute to come for Kamala in the shade room comments, attacking this black woman unwarrantedly, coming for her children, coming for her husband, while also self-proclaiming to be a paragon for the black community because he wants to justify the fact that he performed for a white supremacist, a white nationalist, the same white nationalist that's rolling back DEI initiatives, the same white nationalist that's banning black books and erasing black history, the same white nationalist right now pushing for the Senate to pass a bill that's going to get black women and children killed. So let me profess and attest that no nothing Nelly performed for a felony that's going to kick a whole lot of black people off of their Medicaid. Somebody get this man a Band-Aid because I'm about to verbally abuse you. And I promise I'm going to stay on substance since you know so much about it. For somebody who's been arrested for simple possession, I thought you would know a little bit about reentry. You claimed that she was a prosecutor that arrested black men. Well, on the contrary, sir, she was the person who created the first in the nation reentry program to get low-level offenders like yourself out of jail. And I just find it so ignorant and interesting.
Yeah, and she also blocked evidence that would acquit somebody, DNA evidence that would acquit somebody. Okay, if you gonna talk about it, I'll give Kamala her W. I will give Kamala her W, but she's gonna have to take her L too. She's gonna have to take that L too. She's not gonna be able to just hold the W and then we ignore the L's. Y'all keep doing that with the Democratic Party. No, we not doing that. Because she was keeping people in prison. Worse than just locking people up for weed, in my opinion. Worse than that, she was keeping prisoners in prison, okay, really illegally, so they could be firefighters to put out fires in California, which is worse to me, in my opinion, than just locking people up off of marijuana charges. You making prisoners, non-violent offenders, mind you, put out fires, okay? So no, we're not gonna sit up there and be all like, oh no, she let people out. Nah, no, if you go give her the good and she got to get the bad too, and the bad outweighs the good. So that's why y'all don't want to bring that up. Talking about some Medicaid, nah, man.
That you want to sit here and keep bringing up her white husband. Well, who the hell are you, pussy police? Last time your ass paid pussy police, your ass had sexual assault allegations, not once, not twice, but thrice. And because we cite our sources over here, according to the NPR, you was backstage in the UK trying to grab a lady by the pussy. No wonder you wanted to perform for Felon 47, because you know alleged sexual assaulters of a feather flock together. And I know what you're thinking. Well, he wasn't convicted. Well, this was a civil case, babes. Settling out of court doesn't mean that you're innocent. And I seen your little list of things that you've done for the black community.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, and that was a low blow. That was a kind of low blow, but that's not relevant. That's not relevant. If he wasn't convicted, anybody can accuse anybody, especially if you're a celebrity, of anything. So if you're not convicted on those crimes, you bringing it up to tarnish his name. Did she marry a white man? Yes or no? She did. Yes, she did. Okay. So yeah, y'all sitting up there making it seem like this is the second coming of Ida B. Wells. This is the second coming of Harriet Tubman. And the first white man, she married a white man and got white kids, stepkids.
It's cute, but there's no comparison to what Kamala Harris has done for our community. You said you given the HBCUs. Have you given $17 billion? You ain't even worth one of them.
She didn't give $17 billion nothing. That money was given through the Biden administration. If anything, Biden gave that money. If anything, and they gave the white schools more. Keep that in mind. I'm just saying.
How many black men did you get out of prison? Because I can name the ones that Kamala has. You said you.
Did she get the ones out of prison that were putting out forest fires? Did she get those ones out of prison? That's the ones I want to know. I want to know about them. What's their status? Are they still putting out fires in California, or did she get them out of prison?
Pay for people's tuition. Kamala Harris canceled over.
And she didn't pay for nobody's tuition. If Biden made a promise to end student loan debt, and then he really didn't deliver on that. And that was Biden who did that. That wasn't her. You ain't going to be able to pass that to her. And even if you did, that wasn't just for black folk.
Over $187 billion worth of student loan forgiveness under the Biden-Harris administration. Bitch, can you clear a check like that?
Let's put our differences aside for a day of charity. I'd like to see you match me. We'll write it together.
When HBCU students were being threatened with bombs, did you step in like Kamala Harris to help out?
When HBCU students were being threatened by bombs, did you what? First off, and here's the thing, she's a politician. So if we can't hold them to the same standard. He's a rapper. And he's doing things for a community he doesn't necessarily have to do. She has to do all of those things and really didn't do much. And yeah, when it comes to hate crimes, Kamala turned a damn big-ass blind eye. And so did Biden.
How many black children did you lift out of poverty? Because I can give you a statistic that shows that Kamala did. It ain't about who you married to, it's what you do for the community. And she's been tried and true to ours.
Man, and if by ours, I think you mean the letter community, the alphabet community. You don't mean no black community. You don't mean foundational black Americans. I know you don't mean that. I know you don't mean that. You mean maybe that. Something else. I'm gonna say this, man. Y'all getting upset. Do we remember she's been tried and true to our community? You talking about stop it. Stop it. You talking about this woman right here, right?
People who are making 100,000 will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do only thing. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No. That's all that is. That's I'm not mad at it. Okay. So yeah, she said no. We're not gonna sit up here and act like she was some type of champion for black people. When every time somebody asks what you gonna do for black people, she dodged the question and avoided it. She damn near didn't want to say she was black until she was running for a president. You didn't hear her say nothing about even being black. It took her damn half her campaign for her to say she's black. She didn't even want to say that. And her dad is partly black. And her mom is Indian who raised her. She don't identify as no black person, damn sure not no foundational black American. So you can miss me with that. She said no to doing anything for black people. She has way more negative history than positive, and I'm not mad that that was called out. I'm personally not. Now, I do have an announcement to make for you guys. Very special announcement. What we have here is because the 4th is coming up. What we have is a brand new foundational black American made album for you guys. You know, we all need summer jams. We all need something we're going to bump this summer. Everybody does. We all do. And I got the creators of this brand new album here with us this evening. And we're going to be talking about this. We're going to be breaking this down. So we have the creators up here. I'm going to introduce them now. You've seen him before. You've seen them before. They've been on this channel before. So we have our good brother Sage in the building. And then we have Juan, our brother Juan, in the building as well too. And we're going to discuss this album. All right. That is releasing on the 4th of July. First question. First off, how y'all doing, brothers? How y'all doing?
Good, man. Good. Happy to be
I'm
here.
good, brother. I'm good. Black first. How's everything?
Good. It's releasing now. Before we get into it, what I just said about the whole thing with Nelly, Kamala, Trump, all of that, do you guys have an opinion or anything you want to say as far as that's concerned?
You want to go first one?
Go ahead.
Here's my thing. You know my opinion on Kamala and her stance on what she did not do and what she did not promise our people. So, I agree with what you said. Like, we have to have the same smoke. You know, no one says anything about Beyonce or Megan Thee Stallion or well, Cardi B is not a part of our community. You know, coming out in support of the Democrats. We have to keep the same energy for the Republicans. So I'm not mad necessarily at Nelly for doing what he, you know, for performing for Trump. Um, but we need to keep the same energy. I don't think you should perform for any political party. You either have to be all the way in or all the way out. I do agree with that. You're not gonna, you know, be able to run a philanthropy, but that woman that you were playing, she really has no stance to say anything when it comes to us in our community.
Yeah, I agree.
And isn't she? You said she's Hispanic, correct?
Yeah, she
So
might
I
be.
can
I
understand.
went through her page, and that's what she says. That's what she says she is.
I can understand her hatred for, you know, the current president and everything that he's been doing, but that really has not much to do with Nelly, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Juan, brother, you have something you want to add?
Yeah, it's just everybody's not holding accountability. We live in a world where nobody holds accountability. They don't stand on what they're supposed to stand on. I'm not necessarily mad at Nelly. I think the way he handled it was cool. He could have did without the IG post. Just keep it to the video that he had. That was cool. But doing the IG post kind of made it seem like he was crashing out. He didn't. He felt like he had to over-explain himself a little too much. Everybody know where I stand on Kamala and the whole Trump situation. I feel like neither one of them was good for us. They aren't good for us. As far as the young lady who has something to say about it, but I mean, you put a mic in front of anybody and a camera in front of anybody, they just gonna say anything they want to say, and that's exactly what she did. And I don't agree with anything she said, and she should kind of stay out of our business. We don't jump into their business, what they got going on, then they should just kind of leave us alone.
Okay, yeah, hey, I respect that. I respect that. Yeah, you can't sit up there and criticize if Nelly, who's a foundational Black American, if Nelly has an issue and we want to address Nelly for what Nelly has done, if we feel like that was wrong, not that I would have, like I said, I wouldn't have done that. I don't think you all would have done that necessarily either. You know what I'm saying? Because Trump's not doing nothing. He's not cutting a check and giving reparations to Black people either.
Right.
You know, so this isn't that. But my thing is, if we wanted to get on somebody, we're gonna do that as a community. We're not gonna let an outsider come in and say, "Oh, your contributions to the community don't matter. F your donations and F." No. You are an outsider. This is family business that we handling right now.
Sure.
Okay.
Right. And that's the same energy I felt like with the whole Kanye situation. If we want to call Kanye out, we'll do that on our own time. We're not going to do that because the Jewish society told us to do that. We'll speak to him internally and then we'll have a conversation. But these other communities don't call out their own people in public. So why should we call out our own?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's
Snoop was
always,
crazy for that
especially
one.
when it comes to a celebrity. Juan, were you saying something?
Oh yes, the Snoop. Like he was killing everybody else for doing certain things, and then he turned around and did the same exact thing. It's America. Anybody could be bought, and I think that's exactly what he did. Anybody could be bought in America. Anything could be bought in America. So, and he jumped for the bag. 1 minute he don't agree with nobody with Trump, and then the next minute he's showing out and performing for him. It writes its own. Like it's just what it is. That's celebrities in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And
talking
then to
about.
turn around and to try to be like, you know, gangster behind it, like, you know, him saying he's jumping in someone's DMs. Snoop, stop. This is not 1994, bro. Like,
Yeah,
no.
that's what I said. That was a bad look, or whatever the case is. You're not gonna when you make a stance, and this is something as men we understand. When we make a stance, when we make a promise, we make that. Don't say nothing if you ain't gonna back it up. Don't say nothing if you ain't gonna mean it. Okay. Don't say no. This is what we, especially if you're talking to other people and saying this is what as men we should be doing. This is the page we should be on for then you to go and talk about, well, things happen and I changed my opinion and all of that. No, come on now.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Now, what I do want to talk about though is you guys' new album. Y'all dropping in a couple of days. It took you guys a lot to get this album out. Y'all got the American theme going on, so y'all dropping this on the 4th. I think that's very fitting. First, what the name of the album? What is the name of the album?
Made on the 4th.
Made on the 4th.
Yeah.
Ironic. I like it. All right. I like it. Okay. The idea behind this album, I know you guys had kind of talked to me about it a little bit. You guys have worked on, this is your 4th album together.
Yeah.
So this is our 4th project. Yes, sir. So, well, first of all, we had to come to you first, Afro. I know you was killing us because when we released the single, I know you was beating me down for the album. So it's finally here. It's ready. 2 more days, family. It's definitely gonna be out. But the album came about. The album came about. Or you want the real story, or you want the BS? Which one you want?
Yeah, give me the real deal, brother.
Okay, so the album, I went through an awful lot in the last couple of years, and thankful that my brother One, kept me grounded on certain things and level-headed at certain things. I needed an outlet to unleash my frustration and anger and dismay with a lot that was going on, from loss in the family and just a lot of things that happens. Life happens. So the album in itself, it's more of like a sum up of what we've been going through in the last 2 to 3 years, and it really culminate. Oh, I'm messing my words up, but
don't be nervous, brother. Don't be. It's okay.
Yeah.
They love you.
It really, it's honestly like really like a culmination of everything that we've been through and everything that I needed to get out at that time. So I want it to be listened to in that way. It's everything that I needed to say that I was not able to say, whether it be to family members or friends or anyone that I've come in contact to that I could not say that to them in the moment. From its inception, it was being created straight out of somewhat frustration and
depression.
Somewhat of a depressive kind of state that I was in. And I want to thank again my brother for allowing me to go through that and to put that on a project and to follow, somewhat of my vision for that. The reason why it's called On the 4th, again, like you alluded to, is that it's my brother and me, our 4th project together. And that's not easy, family, to work together with someone and create 1, let alone 2 projects, and for us to be on our 4th project together, still family, still brothers at it, and still feeding off of each other. I think that's an amazing feat.
Agreed.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody says, Sage, you look like Tupac right now. Is that why you got the bandana thing? That's why you did that?
Nah, the theme is like, everything, we Americaned out, it's July 4th. So we're all, we foundational Black Americaned out. Everything on this album. Well, first of all, I am definitely inspired by Tupac. Absolutely. Let me not even not acknowledge that. Absolutely. Sage has always been inspired by Tupac. That's someone I grew up listening to. There may be a video on from this project that I'm emulating Tupac, but that's neither here nor there. I don't want to give that away right now. But the album themed is July 4th. Everything with this is about us worshiping and giving praise to our American ancestors and just giving props and love to them and giving everything that we can give to them. So that's the theme, American flag, everything, everything from the album, everything is surrounded by what's gonna happen on Friday or what's gonna be released on Friday.
Yeah, it's Independence Day. That's how I look at it. When we release music, I always try to find like a significant day of some kind of meaning. And I feel like the 4th of July is the perfect day to represent our country, to represent ourselves, to represent our people. Um, and I feel like everybody else has their flag. We in the age where everybody puts their flag up. They represent their flag. Why we don't? We run that
Especially
flag.
in New
We own
York.
that flag. We built this. Why we can't wear our own flag? So that whole idea and concept came, and I wanted to
Let
run
me
with
let
that.
me. Okay, and I respect that. I do respect that. Right. Got this right here. I got this from the reparations rally.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
they gave me a sticker about the Black American reparations. Let me say this though, for devil's advocate, gotta do it. What if somebody says the 4th of July ain't for black people? Black people were still enslaved during that time, and why should we celebrate that? It doesn't make any sense if that holiday wasn't made with us in mind. What would you guys say to that?
Well, I would simply say that that we are American, however you want to slice that. We're as American as apple pie, and I truly understand what they think about the 4th of July being Independence Day, but we were never truly independent. We were still enslaved at a certain point. A lot of people look at Juneteenth as our Independence Day, which I don't disagree with. But when you think of something that's uniquely American, specifically a holiday, that holiday celebrates the country that well, at least us three, our ancestors built. So I totally get both sides of it. But I look at us as Americans, however you want to slice that. I say knocking on my door, they ain't knocking on y'all doors. So as long as you ain't got to worry about that, you should celebrate 4th of July. Whether you want to celebrate it or not, you still are American. And that is
For
our
sure.
flag. Grace Wisher,
Okay.
as we know, young lady sold that flag. And that's the flag that they're going to wave in the harbor in New York City when the fireworks are going off in a few hours.
And we built this. Why should we run away from it? Even though that they have this day, we wasn't free. We still ain't free, technically. So it's still
No
our
comment.
flag. We built that flag. That's our flag. And we're gonna wave it every day. Even if we don't celebrate the 4th at the way they do it, we might not go out and do fireworks, but we could stream black music.
Mm. Mm.
Okay. I'm asking that because every single time there's the 4th of July, it's always like a discourse. I'm not going to say it's an argument, but there's always a discourse in the community about the 4th in particular, because it's a lot of, and I understand both sides. I understand the side of, we are American. And I think that now that we're starting to claim our actual heritage here, we're starting to embrace our heritage and our lineage here. Our disposition when it comes to being American has changed. So, and we're taking more pride in that collectively as a culture. I do respect people who are all like, hey, man, the 4th of July is not nothing for our community to celebrate. I will say, love it or hate it. If I celebrate or if I don't, I do respect both people's opinion. I feel like both sides of the argument is very valid. I do. But I will say, if we are to do anything on the 4th, what we should do is being pro-black. If we were to commemorate our ancestors, if we were to celebrate in any way or whatever the case is, Juan, like you said, we might not celebrate it the way they celebrate it, but if we celebrate it in the form of advancing the community, I don't think anybody's going to have an issue with that.
For sure.
100%.
So, yeah.
That's how I look at it.
And again, I look at it like this too, Afro. I mean, you probably can't go by 2 foundational Black American households and they don't have, that, where someone participated in a war and they passed on or did not pass on. But whenever happens, you receive that flag. You know what I mean? So and that's something that's uniquely our experience in America.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody celebrates Juneteenth nowadays. They try to take our day away. They even wear the wrong flags. They even put out the wrong colors. So
You know what my issue with Juneteenth is? Because I love Juneteenth and I've been celebrating that before it was a federal holiday. I hate the fact that we waited for them to tell us it was a federal holiday to celebrate it. Because a lot of, well, I wouldn't say foundationals, but a lot of Black people, people that share our skin tone, did not celebrate that holiday until Joe Biden said it was okay to celebrate it. And that's my issue with, some of the people that celebrate Juneteenth today. We should have been celebrating that. A lot of people, honestly, 5, 10 years ago, they didn't even know what Juneteenth truly was about.
they still don't know. Then they throw Pan-African flags on it.
No comment.
No comment. Sage.
No comment.
All right, that's my brother. Let's get back to the album. So we see here we have some songs on the album. All right. Now, the American flag, I know you guys are dropping this on the 4th, about the 4th and everything like that. What is the theme? I think I know what it is, but I'm going to let you guys explain. What is the theme of this album? What was the idea at everything when you're in the drawing board and you're talking about, hey, we got to do an album for the summertime album? Why was it like, let's go USA? What was the idea behind that right there?
Just having pride in our country and just pride in ourselves. I feel like we always create music for our people. Like that's what we do. We've been doing this since the first project. And we always tie it into something. So I feel like every album that we do, even the last album, Shades of Black, it was like to commemorate us as people and our people. When we were creating this album, it was like a story, even from the track listing. Each song ties into the next song, ties into the next song. It's basically a storyline of emotions, from depression to happiness to love to not having to love, etc.
Yeah, even when you look at those track names, you start off at such a high point and then you hit such a low point, and then you have to build back up to that high point. You have to rebirth yourself in a specific way. And again, it's basically like just the story of, and not take away from what my brother One did, but it's basically the story of what I was going through and what, my brother's seen, me going through at the time that I didn't necessarily share with the world, but I was able to put it and channel it into the music and try to share it at a more relatable way so that the family can understand it.
We got a
And they
lot
give
of
y'all
trolls
some
in the chat
tunes.
room today. What is going on? A whole bunch of trolls in the chat room. That is something else. Okay. All right then. I mean, y'all in here, ain't you? So, okay. All right then. So let me ask you guys this question. All right. We got to ask some questions. What is your favorite song on the track? Your favorite song?
I'll let you go one.
You can only pick one. Only pick one.
Lord.
What do y'all think is going to be the banger of the album right there? Or not even your favorite, what you think is going to be the favorite of the album?
I don't know, because my personal favorite might not be like, I guess, the one for the people that we want to hear and dance to. But I think Sweet Releases might be a good one that people like as far as the summer vibe and to dance with it and I guess feel an emotion to it. And I think it's a nice little smooth way of doing that on a Sweet Release. But my personal favorite is probably Don't Know. That one to me is one of our emotional records, but it was done in a place of like depression and darkness. But the way the song came out and how the sample ties into everything, that's one of my favorites. That's my album favorite.
Well, before I get into my favorite, someone asked a question in the chat about Pimp. That's basically us giving, without giving too much away from that, when you look up the timeline on the progression of building yourself back up, that's basically, well, first of all, the song is us paying homage to the city of Memphis. To be honest,
Sure.
we were very inspired by 3 6 Mafia and Project Pat with that one, and being Brooklyn kids, my boy One, well, like I said, you want the real, you don't want the BS. One actually came to me with that concept for that song, and he ran down exactly what we should go through on that song, or what we should speak about on that song. So it's not what you would think it is. It's not down talking woman. It's more of like uplifting yourself when you're down, telling yourself that you're the shit. Excuse my language. You're the one. You're worthy of something. So that's basically you telling yourself that you're not the bottom of the bottom, if that makes any sense.
And
So
it's a club record.
and it's a
I
club
forgot that was on the album.
and
I
it's a
forgot that
club
was on
record.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
So
club record. It's an up-tempo record. A
mhm.
beautiful sample on it. You even gave the sample some breather, so you can just feel it. It was one of my fun records to make. Not my favorite, but I mean the whole album is my favorite. I think this is my favorite album that we've created. This, to me, I feel like it's the best one we've done. I might say that on all of them, but this one I feel from start to finish is phenomenal. Production, lyrical, concepts, uh, instrumentation. It's just like for a music nerd like myself, to me it's one of my favorites.
So
Now,
one is not going to tell you this. I'm so sorry, Afro. One is not going to tell you this, but a lot of the production, if not all the production that you hear on this, is either co-produced by him or produced by him. Now he's not going to tell you that because he doesn't bring that up a lot. But most of the beats that you heard and Family, you can listen to Shades of Black right now on iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, wherever you consume your music, Google Play, wherever. You can listen to that right now. At least probably 98% of the music that's out is either co-produced or produced by this man.
It's
The
true.
keyboard, drums,
let
everything.
me we gotta say something. We gotta talk about something.
Uh-oh.
I want to pull this up real quick, and I want to show people if I can find it. It's been here. So they coming out with a new documentary. If you guys didn't know, about hip hop.
Okay.
What?
From New York. If y'all didn't know that, yes, indeed, they are coming out with a documentary about hip hop from New York. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find exactly where.
Is that the LL Cool J one?
You said what? You said what?
Was that the LL Cool J one?
We did one already, and I think that doesn't be another one needs to be made.
Exactly.
No, this
we
one.
all know
Yes,
about
this is the LL Cool J one. I want to show people not the trailer necessarily, because you get a copyright, but I'm gonna kind of finesse it a little bit. I'm gonna be slick with it. So I'm gonna show this to the people. Let me show y'all, because they're coming out with a new documentary about hip hop, y'all, and it's very important that we know what they're doing. Okay. All right, it's gonna show up. It's from Paramount. If it shows up, it shows up. If it doesn't, that's cool.
Stand clear of the
Okay. Well, just I don't know. As soon as I got on live, the internet been active. Everything was fine until I got on live today. So it is what it is. If it don't play, it don't play. And we just not gonna waste too much time on it. Not gonna waste too much time. I'm gonna wait and see.
Maybe that's a sign that shouldn't even come out.
Yeah, maybe it is a sign. I don't know. I wanted to play it for you guys. I did, but am I frozen?
No, not to me. Somebody asked you that album
Oh,
on Apple Music. It's gonna be on Apple Music. But all our
Yes.
previous
Okay.
stuff is on Apple Music. Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Fat Joe is in the album. I mean, Fat Joe is not in the album. Lord, he's not in the album. Fat Joe is in the documentary. Fat Joe is going to be in the documentary. So you guys already know Fat Joe's his stance on hip hop, his stance on the origin of hip hop, that hip hop was a 50-50 thing with FBA and Latinos created hip hop 50-50. It started in, when did they say it started in like the 80s in the Bronx or whatever. And you all are from New York. Right? So can you do us a favor? Because I'm not from New York, but I know a little bit about hip hop. But you guys make music. You guys are from New York. So can you guys inform us, all of us, about the relationship and this alliance that we have as far as music with Puerto Ricans? Can you guys let everybody know about this quote unquote 50-50 alliance that blacks and Puerto Ricans have in New York? Because apparently word has it is that in New York y'all get along and y'all pretty much live amongst each other, and there's no difference in the blacks and Puerto Ricans and blacks and other Hispanics and Latinos. Y'all are perfectly fine and mixed together perfectly in New York. So can you all speak to that?
We're not mixed together. I mean, New York in a whole is
I'm being sarcastic. I
know.
I'm just saying.
They've always been areas that are like associated with like specific groups of people. Like back in the day, back in the early 90s, you probably had Bushwick that had a lot of Puerto Ricans. You had Uptown New York that had a bunch of Latinos as well, and Washington Heights and stuff like that. But Black people was everywhere. I mean, we're everywhere in the world. But it's not like we had a mixture. So of course we're gonna rub elbows in certain areas and certain parts, but it's not like they had a hand creation. Just because we had, let's say we had a barbecue or a block party in the neighborhood, they might come because they don't live too far, but it's not like they created it, if that makes sense. You can't say you created something if you're just showing up to the barbecue. You know what I'm saying? You can't say this is your barbecue if you just come and hang out. So
And
I
here's my
don't know
stance on that.
where that comes from, but
Here's my stance on that. As a writer of music, and as I've never specifically hip hop. Hip hop takes inspiration from other forms and genres of music. Hip hop is basically a music genre that is the birth child of funk, basically. So I would ask you one, my brother, as a producer, what producers have you taken inspiration from, and have they been Latino? Stop.
no, they haven't. It's Quincy Jones, um, Pete Rock, Kanye, of course, as far as a producer, Pharrell Williams, stuff like that. Um, I don't even know any, I guess, Latino producers, especially in hip hop. I don't even know one.
So if there are no Latino producers, then how did you create this form of music? I would simply say, who is, like my brother Tariq said, point to the person that we take inspiration from, because as a writer, I take inspiration from Rakim, Nas, Tupac. I take inspiration from them. None of them are Puerto Rican. So I would like to know who from 73 was the inspirational character that we took from. Because if you're
Yeah,
going to say that you created something or you co-created something, you should be able to point to whoever you're taking the inspiration from.
yeah, it should be a lot of Latin infused in the hip hop back in those days.
Right.
If that was the case, it really wasn't. It was none. I mean, we sampled James Brown and like artists of that caliber, but there's no Latino infusion into it. So you can't say you created something when you don't have no infusion of your essence into that creation.
And the problem with that is that there's still no Latin infusion today. So I'm missing, I'm disconnected, or I'm missing what they're trying to get at specifically, because there's truly no connection.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Let's be honest. If we know it's not, but if hip hop was a 50-50 thing from birth, if by creation hip hop was a 50-50 genre by creation. That means from the start, the absolute start, it was 50-50. That means that we should see much more Puerto Rican and Latino influence in there today. Most of the influence from the entire creation of hip hop, even if we want to say it started in the 80s, which you can go back even further, but if we want to say that from the 80s all the way up until now, they said hip hop just had its 50th anniversary or something like that. We should be able to see 50 years of equal Puerto Rican contributions in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have a Puerto Rican version of Tupac. You don't have a Puerto Rican version of Rakim. You don't have a Puerto Rican version of Nas. You don't have a Puerto Rican version of even some of the recent rappers. You don't have a Puerto Rican version of Kendrick Lamar. You don't have a Puerto Rican version of these people. You don't have a Puerto Rican version of whoever, Kanye, that as you know, as wilding as he can get, but you don't have a Puerto Rican version of Kanye.
We're so right. We're so right. That's still our brother. And I know you're from Chicago. You shouldn't be saying that.
It's just the old Kanye. The old Kanye.
You know what I'm
Here's
saying?
my thing with that, Afro, and I don't even like, because I know people say that, hip hop started in New York. Yeah, hip hop, the term hip hop was coined in New York. But if hip hop is a uniquely New York thing, then what the hell do they do out in the Bay? What the hell are they doing in Houston? What the hell are they doing out in Chicago? All of those places I just named have their own version of hip hop. Now, if hip hop is a New York thing, then the Bay's hip hop, that hyphy, wouldn't sound the way it is. It would sound like New York. The South, Texas hip hop, that chopped and screwed, that wouldn't sound like the way it sounds. It would sound like New York. So I look at it more so as hip hop is a people thing. It's more of a, first of all, we all agree that hip hop is uniquely American. It don't come from no damn Puerto Rico. It don't come from no damn Jamaica. Even if they say that, though, the Jamaicans and the Puerto Ricans were there, they're talking about here. They were here in America. So with that being stated, again, if hip hop was solely based off of one man, and that was James Brown, okay, that song, let the man rap, let the kid rap. I believe I'm probably butchering the title, but I know the chat, y'all know what it is. We took the drums from that, and that's where we took to the parks and started, basically rewinding the funk, the break beats on that one. That's basically where hip hop, in a nutshell, that's where it comes from. So to say that the fact that hip hop is not just a New York thing, because again, I want to get at it. Chicago has drill rap. Y'all should not be able to make that if hip hop is a New York thing. Texas has chopped and screwed. Even LA, the LA sound, Dre's sound is a lot different from what was going on in the early 90s. DJ Premier, his beats, his production does not sound like Dr. Dre. The West Coast sound is very different.
That's Black people as a whole. We
can
create so many different facets of different things and just add our own creativity, add our own experiences and something and make it something totally different than what the next person was doing. That's just us as Black people. We can put us anywhere on this earth, but we're gonna turn it into our own. That's just what we do.
Correct. And that's basically, what it is. Again, we do our music on, if I'm not mistaken, the 1 and the 3. We usually hit the 1 hard with our music. All Black music in America, we hit the 1 and the 3 hard. And James Brown basically changed that when he did Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. He changed I don't want to say the beats, but he basically changed the way we hit the 1 and the 3 in our music. He basically did that with that song, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. So I look at that song as like AD and BC, like before that song and after that song, music changed. And that ushered in the whole hip hop era.
So you're saying because, in music, you'll have the 1 and the 1, 2, and 3.
Correct.
And we're heavy on the 1, light on the 2, heavy on the 3.
Correct.
And you're saying what James Brown did is that he changed it. Explain that again.
That's what he did. James Brown made us heavy on the 1 and the 3. Before that, it was more of like the 2 and the 4. But when James Brown
Oh,
came
okay.
hard on that one, when he came hard on the one, that's what changed everything in music. And when you listen to Prophets Got a Brand New Bag, family, when y'all get off of this live stream, really listen to that song. And then you can listen to some of James, or listen to Ray Charles or James Brown or anything before that. You're going to hear the difference between, like I said,
The
AD
count, the
and
count is
DC.
different.
The
Mhm.
count. That's what I'm looking for, brother. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting information. That's good information. Okay. So it's about the difference in the count is what kind of changed the style of music that we had, and all of the, and like I say, music is an art. Okay.
Right.
And when people talk about culture and they say hip hop is Black American culture, FBA culture, I say hip hop is music and music is a part of an art. Art is a part of a person's culture. Art is
True.
not the total thing of the culture. Okay. Our culture is everything. We don't
Mhm.
have any less culture than anybody else. But when we talk about art, we have anybody who has taken an art class or has studied art in and of itself, because you have art and then you have music, you have different forms of art, which could be dance, art can be music, art can be painting, art can be even architecture
Fashion.
can be art. All of these things can be considered art, right?
Right.
So when we talk about music, we understand that these things, because they're all under the umbrella of art, we understand that these things, music doesn't just bam, one day it's there. It wasn't there at all on Tuesday, and then bam, on Wednesday, it's just it exists. That's just not how it is made. Most things are not created like that. Even inventions, if we're going to be honest, most inventions that we have are inspired from other similar inventions or other similar ideas for the very most part. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we got a car came from the fact that we had a horse and buggy before. You know what I'm saying? So those ideas inspired other things. Art is very much so the same way. Hip hop was not just one day there was no hip hop and then bam, next day there was some hip hop. That's not how it was. It was an accumulation of different ideas in different arts that came together and that formed into that ultimately formed into hip hop, just like artists. You know, you might have one art style. Some artists might just paint it a little bit different, and then some might paint that a little bit different, and then maybe based off of their perspective or based off of whatever they, you know, their perspective or the time, they might paint things a little bit differently, and then that becomes a different form of a canvas, so to speak. Just like music, okay? Hip hop, that stuff originated from different art forms, and those different art forms factored in. They're all like pieces of little, they're like pieces to a puzzle. Hip hop is a big puzzle, and the pieces to the puzzle was James Brown. A piece to the puzzle was funk music. A piece to the puzzle was graffiti. A piece of the puzzle was fighting against police and being anti-police brutality. You know what I'm saying? A piece of the puzzle, of course, we are going to have to admit, was New York culture. You know what I'm saying? Which was predominantly Black American. We're not even going to act like it was 50-50 percentage of them, you know. But a piece of the puzzle, you can also go back to blues and gospel movie, all of our music genres and stuff like that. The fact that we were using the drums with all of this stuff, the instruments that we were using, we were rapping years before that. You know, a piece to the puzzle could have been. So there were many. What I'm saying is there were many different pieces to the puzzle that created hip hop, and you have to give credit to all of those pieces. You can't just say, well, no, we're just going to start off with the whole puzzle put together. No, you got to give credit to the individual pieces. And those individual pieces come from our culture. They don't come from Puerto Rican culture.
Sure.
No,
it's just a fact.
No. And again, hip hop is a shared experience. So when you look at, like, you know, the South and they talk about candy paint, we know nothing about candy paint when it comes to New York. So that's their experience that they're putting into their music. When you talk about LA and a lot of the family scene straight out of Compton, and they were talking about um who was it, Gankin, I think, something like that. It was one of LA words. We have no idea what that is. So
Yeah,
people bring their
and
own
Southern music
experiences
too.
and they put it in. Yeah, absolutely. Southern music from Atlanta, from everything
Because
that they have
we
going
wasn't
on.
drinking lean up here.
No, but that's their experience. From
Hmm.
Chicago, drill music, that's their experience. They're putting that into their music. And
Mm-hmm.
that's low key genius to try to channel something and put it into music where millions of people can relate to it. I think that's genius that a lot of Black Americans don't get credit for. That's genius in itself to try to
Yep.
paint a picture. You see something in your head and you paint the picture. I don't see a
Mm-hmm.
difference between writing a movie script and writing music. It's not much of a difference. It's a creation in your head that you're painting for everyone to see.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Speaking of which, also poetry. That was
Hmm.
something that
Yeah,
our culture, we're very into. A lot of us are
absolutely.
into, which is why, and when it comes to our rappers, you see so much storytelling. You know what I'm saying? In
Hmm.
our raps, you don't really see we got a lot of non-FBAs in hip hop now, but you don't really see that storytelling aspect in their raps. You know what I'm saying? That kind of poetic aspect in
Hmm.
their raps, like you will see in like a Snoop Dogg, not a Snoop Dogg, Tupac, or you'll
Nas.
see in a
Or
Kendrick.
Nas.
You know what I'm saying? Or
Mhm.
even though he's half FBA, you'll see in the J. Cole or something like that, a storytelling aspect of it. Or we've seen in your music, in your albums, a storytelling aspect. You don't see that, a poetic aspect. You don't see that in these other people's music.
Well, I started making music from poetry. I used to write poems a lot, and that's what really got me interested in actually recording them. I used to write poems all the time, and I attack music today as it. I look at the poetic value of every song. If I feel that it doesn't have poetic value in it, I don't really rock with it like that. All the artists that you named, J. Cole, all the artists that you named, they are very poetic on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my brother one, we used to go around the city all the time and participate in spoken word competitions just to see, just because you want to feel the people and you really want to
Hmm.
connect with the people, whether the music be on or the music be off. Our last album, Shades of Black, we had a song on there paying homage to that called Milk and Honey, and it paid homage to like spoken word and being in front of a crowd where the lights are dimmed and people are smoking and people are drinking, but everyone's quiet and listening to you, and they're holding on
Mm-hmm.
to your every word. So every word that you say, every sentence that you say matters. And I think that that's how we should and always attack music. Everything that you say matters.
Sure. I mean, Milk and Honey in general. I think if you guys go back and listen to that, you'll kind of like, as soon as you hear it, it'll put you in that place, like at a speakeasy, and just hearing, like, as soon as it come on, it's gonna put you in that same place, and that's what we wanted to embody and capture. Even had someone come in and play the saxophone and just like give it that same feeling as if you would be there with like a glass of whiskey and a cigar and a soup at a speakeasy. That whole sound is what we embodied on that record and that whole project, actually.
Mm. That's deep, man. I'm so excited for the people to hear this album that you guys got coming out. I'm so excited for that. You know what I'm
Me
saying?
too,
And because this
man.
is the real FBA music, and we're starting to see a lot of this now. We're starting to see a lot of our culture really starting to come out to the forefront and be on front page news. I'm using that analogy a lot. We're on the front page news of everything, and we have been really ever since we started identifying as foundational Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? Earlier this year, we had Sinners, and music was a big part of the Sinners movie. Music was a big part of the Sinners movie, and a lot of people was really like doing a lot of deep diving and into that. Shout out to Ryan Coogler, because I think he did a masterful job in directing that. Shout out all of the actors and actresses were phenomenal, and Michael B. Jordan, he was. But the music aspect and the cultural relevance of that music was really the main plot of the movie. If we're going to be very honest, you know what I'm saying? Kendrick, I was just at the Kendrick concert. Kendrick was, he's breaking records, especially Not Like Us. And when he's doing his thing, as far as, tapping into the FBA part of the culture, you know what I'm saying? Talk about this is bigger than the music. You said 40 Acres and a Mule or something like that, or the fact that he had the American flag at the Super Bowl earlier this year. You know what I'm saying? So we are tapping into something that people are really feeling on a deep level.
I mean, it's
even Beyonce too. She had the American flag out.
Beyonce as well too.
Yeah, I mean, because everyone embraces their ethnicity except for us, and I think with the emergence of the new black media such as himself and others, we've ushered in pride in our ethnic group. We've designated our own label, and we've ushered in pride behind that. And now, like me and my brother One, we'll bring the soundtrack to whatever's going on. We'll create the soundtrack to that, and we'll try to keep that pride, and we'll put that pride into that music, and try to represent it as best as we could, because that's what I believe that you do, or that's what you're supposed to do with music. You're supposed to represent as much as you could, pride and whatever mission that you're trying to get across, you're supposed to represent.
I'm so excited for y'all to hear this. Like, I'm telling you, it's crazy. I can't wait for y'all to hear it, to get the feedback of it, which I think of it. But I'm beyond excited. I know we worked really hard on this one. As long as we do all of them, but I felt like this one, the way it came about, we didn't think we would get that date. And we did it all ourselves. Like, there's no outside parties. It's all us. It's just us. We put it out. We worked on it. We put our own money behind it. We own everything on it. It's black owned. It's crazy to say, but it's dope to say at the end of the day, that nobody else can control what we create.
Someone in the chat room asked, do you all have any music videos or any videos on YouTube? I'm assuming that means music videos.
Yeah, so we have older videos. We will be shooting quite a few for this next project. What I would like for the family to do, because I know me and my brother's DMs are open. When you hear it on Friday, I would like for the family, let me know. DM me what your favorite track is, because I would like to take a poll, and I want y'all to pick what video y'all would like to see.
What video y'all want?
I have a feeling, which song they'll probably choose, or which
song. No, it might not be. They want to hear it.
I want them to hear it too.
They want to hear
it. I totally want them to hear it too. Afro, do me a favor. Can you bring up the track listing for the family? Because I want to run down, because my brother Chills, he's not up here right now, but he broke this down, because I want to take you through the timeline of the album. So, like I said, you start off as human beings. We usually start off with like such a high. So the song "Loving This Life" is all about being high, and well, I'm gonna let you start off one, and then I'm gonna take it after Broken. So I'm gonna let you start off with the "Loving This Life" nightcap, Ben Sweet Release, and I'll take it after Broken.
Somebody in the chat said, right before we get to that, is the name of the group Sage and One? No, it's ACES. It's an acronym, ASIS. Always seeing inspiration of the acronym for it. So if you search on all streaming platforms, it's ASIS. But we can go through the track listing. Loving This Life is the start of the record, the start of the album. It's basically an ode to finding love, the love that you think you found, and it's everything that you thought it could be. And that's what you want to share with that person. And the sound of the record gives it like a vacation vibe to it. Um, to me, that's one of my favorite records as well, just because of how it sounds. And I think for an intro record, people will like that one. I think the women will like that one a lot, as well as Nightcap. Nightcap is exactly what it sounds like. You taking that special someone, like I told you guys, the album is basically a timeline. So you found this love in your life, which is the first record, and then Nightcap, you take that special someone out, and then you want to end with a nightcap with that special someone, and not just end up as friends and let it be just platonic. You want it to end off in being something special. And then that third record, Binge, which is you and that special someone sitting down, just having a time with just you guys, just whether that's sitting on the couch watching your favorite show, binging and watching your favorite show, whether it's you guys sitting on a couch together and you're just scrolling on socials. I know I like to do
Netflix
that.
and chill.
Yeah, Netflix and chill. I like to do that with my girlfriend. So that was like an ode to that in that aspect. And then you get to track 4. This is you guys basically consummating that relationship and you wanting to please her and give her that special sweet release. So like I told you, it's like a timeline. And then as you get to the second half where you become broken, this is where Sage goes into his format of how he's feeling and how his relationship ended. And now he's become broken in that aspect. So it's 2 tales of our lives broken into different sectors. And I'll let Sage take over from Broken as we get further down.
So I want to again.
I gotta say something, Sage. Come on now. I gotta say something. I gotta say, you sure did make sure you said Netflix and chill. Sage, he was like, "Oh no, that is for Netflix and chill." Now he was like, "I want the ladies to know." He said, "I think the ladies might like that. The ladies might like that." He's like, "Yeah, because it's for Netflix and chill." Okay. Okay.
I wanna say
I ain't mad
this.
at you, Sage. I ain't mad. You ain't gotta explain nothing. I ain't mad at you, brother. I ain't mad at you.
I want to say this. That if we, I know this is a family oriented show. So that song, I want to say to the children out there, to the children, that song is PG-13 at minimum.
Okay.
I would say that
All right.
sweet release song. I'll let y'all use y'all imagination, but that song is rated PG-13. I would say. Yeah, let's get back to the track
Still
listing.
parents. Listen first. Still parent. You know what I'm saying? Make sure, because the kids gonna have the headphones in. You can't hear what they listening to.
Yeah, everything is implied on the music too. One thing about me and my brother, all of our music is clean. You won't hear us saying "shoot 'em up, bang bang," "f these girls." We don't do that. We try to keep it as clean as possible. Sure, it may come out rough or harsh sometimes, but it's always done with a certain decorum. We don't promote any facets of life that we don't feel needs to be promoted to the big screen.
Yeah, we don't promote what we don't do. So it's not any lies told in the raps or told on the records. Everything you hear is factual stuff. We do get a little, I wouldn't say crazy, but we do turn up on Pimp because I mean that's what the record is. The record is titled that for a reason because we have to. So we cursing on that record for sure. But it's for the
we're
club.
gonna get back to it. I'm gonna let you explain, Sage, what you had to. I like the way you cleaned it up. You said PG-13. All right, let's get back to it.
PG-13. I wouldn't say rated R because it's implied.
What song or the whole album?
Sweet Releases is implied.
I would say it's PG-13. It's more, yeah.
If you know,
because I mean, yeah, because we're not saying, like I said, we use a different word, which is sweet release. It's not. I mean,
so let me ask you a question. I gotta be a little messy. Come on now. If I was, come on, I gotta do it, Sage. Sage, you come. You gotta know.
Here we go.
If I was to have a romantic evening with a nice young lady and light some candles and pop on this album, what song should I play to set the mood, Sage? And you already know what mood is trying to be set, Sage. Don't talk about reparations now. That's not top that.
Oh no. We don't gotta talk about that right now. Unless anyway, unless you're paying homage to something else. Anyway, what I would say is that I would go with what do you want to get out of this young lady that we're talking about?
You press it
What you want to get out of this young
I
lady?
like that.
Because here's the
Okay,
thing.
all right.
You want to just
Let's
chill
get back
and
to
have
the album.
fun
I
with
like
her.
that. Okay.
You
All
want to
right,
chill
now.
and have fun with her. There's one thing, but if you
Flip
want
it back on me. That's why I rock the Sage. I like that. I like it. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's get back to it. So we after what was it broken, we left off, right?
Yes. So just to recap a little bit, loving this life is when you meet the quote unquote love of your life. Nightcap, you guys are at a bar, you're having a great time, you're chilling, whatever. You decide that you want to, you don't want it to end. That you guys go look up what nightcap is. I know you guys already know. So you decide, how about we go to the crib? Let's go binge, Netflix and chill, binge some Netflix and chill. Yes, I said it again, Afro. Which leads, obviously, the Netflix and chill leads to, the sweet release, right? Now, everything is at a major high right now. And then you guys break up. I don't know why you guys just break up, which leads to the depression portion. Now you're broken. Now you're searching, you're trying to figure out what happened, what went wrong between the sweet release and the love in this life. What went wrong? But you don't know what went wrong. You truly don't know what went wrong. So now you're confused. But, you're losing, love, you're losing family members, you're losing whatever. But now, you confide in your friends now. What is your boy going to tell you? You got to get back in. You got to get back on court. You got to sub back in. You got to get back on the field. You got to start believing back in yourself. You
Gotta get back outside.
Yeah, you got to get back outside. I hate to use that verbiage. You got to get back outside. So yes, that's where comes into play, because you have to start feeling yourself again. You got to pick yourself up. And then now, after you've picked yourself up, you've gotten play from this girl and that girl, or this guy and that guy, whatever floats your boat. Now you're back to life. You've been reborn to a certain degree. And this is the rebirth stage. So now you've recovered from whatever depression that you were in, and now something brought you back to life. That's where music brings me to life comes back in. And then once you've stood back on your 2 feet and you're ready to walk, you can't stop no more. Now you're on your path heading towards the future. And that's where Can't Stop Now finishes the album. So when we say that truly, that, and I don't know if it was the ancestors or whatever, divine intervention, I don't know. We did not plan for it to be like that at all. And it took hours of my boy Chills, our other partner, who listening to the album and coming up with that, shout out to him. He walked us through that. The whole thing is a story, and it really told the story that that we've been through over the last 2 years working on the album.
Somebody, I think, Street Jocelyn said the E next to the album is explicit. Yeah, it's explicit. We are cursing. Don't let Sage tell you that we're not. We are cursing.
Hey,
come
on now.
Now,
profanity on the album now, Sage. Come on.
And Pimp is definitely it's a record of. How do I want to explain it? It's more so like you was angry, and the way that you kind of got out of that anger of that special someone is you had to go out. You had to go outside. You had to experience life again, and you're gonna hear the anger in it. So it may sound raunchy, it may sound grungy, but it's from a place of depression. and that's what came out of it in that aspect for it. So, but it's a great album. It feels good. It sounds good. You're gonna feel those emotions as you go through the track listing and listen to it.
And to be honest with you, majority of the songs on the album, look, all songs have E next to the album because in its entirety, they're all curses on the album. But believe it or not, I believe 4 or 5 songs on the albums have no curses at all. Not one. So, like songs like I don't believe Love in This Life has any curses. I don't believe Nightcap has a curse. Again, once you guys go through it, again, because we've been able to express ourselves without using profanity. So, believe it or not, a large portion of the album does not have any curses. Some songs do. That's what gives the album its E rating, or it's explicit. And you know, the family, I've seen this enough, and if one is okay with it, because I've seen a lot of people in the chat saying that they want to hear something. Family, if and I'm gonna copy Afro with this one. Family, if y'all want to hear a song from the album, put a 1 in the chat. If y'all want to hear a song from the album, family. And you
But
know what?
song you want to hear?
I was gonna go there.
It got to be but I don't want to play something that people want to hear certain songs.
Yeah, let me show you guys the songs. Let me show y'all the songs. And y'all gotta agree. You know, it can't be only one. Only one of the songs is gonna be played. We ain't gonna be doing all of the songs. So only one. Which one will it be? I want y'all.
7.
No, so we all know y'all want a song.
7. Oh my
God.
I gotta put the track number.
Yeah, you can put the track number. It's okay.
So yeah, y'all put the track number there and y'all let us know. Okay.
Okay, so we got I see binge. I see So pimp. Okay.
I see. Okay. Now, mind you, the chat room is a little bit late, so I've been seeing a lot of people say what.
1. Okay. See, I see a lot of 1s, but that might be because
Yeah,
again,
because they're still kind of giving a response.
Okay,
to
number 8. Okay. Number 9. Okay. Oh my God.
Okay, so I'm seeing 8, 9, and 7. These are the ones I'm seeing so far. 8, 9, and 7. I'm seeing a lot more 7. I'm not gonna lie. I'm seeing more 7.
Oh Lord.
Are we gonna play? Are we gonna play
Do we
the
have
7?
a lot of Memphis people in here?
Hold on. I'm seeing 8, 9, 7. Some
Okay.
people saying they're cool. I'm seeing another 7. Yeah, it's looking like it might be a 7, y'all. Now hold on, another 8, some 9s. Oh, I don't know. We gotta count it now.
Okay.
Let's see.
I'm trying to get the numbers.
Sister Angelic want that number 7 so bad. Okay.
I see 7s, man. We're giving a 7.
Okay.
It looks like it's gonna be a 7, y'all. Is somebody saying they can't find you on YouTube?
If you type in Aces Shades of Black on YouTube, you're gonna find the whole album. ASIS Shades of Black on YouTube, you're gonna find the whole album. That's ASIS. Okay, so they want number 7. Okay. All right.
All right, then. And number 7 it is. Number 7 it is. So how are you gonna you gonna pull it up on your phone?
Yep. Okay. So without further ado, and don't worry, you won't get a copyright strike for this. Without further ado,
please don't.
Let me know if you can hear this perfectly.
It's low.
It's a little low though. Hold on, I'm gonna edit your microphone. I'm gonna make it seem like. Hold on.
I was say Afro can play it too.
Yeah.
Afro, do
Well,
you have it?
actually, I just turned your microphone up. See if you can do it again.
Nah, I think it's coming
Go
from the
ahead.
AirPod. Yeah, I'm about
That's
to say
okay.
let Afro play. Yeah.
You can play it on your side, Afro. It's all good.
Okay. What's the fastest way to go to it? Because I got it on my other phone.
Mm. Um.
Just
Hold on.
send it to me
Matter
real
of
quick
fact,
if
yep.
you
That's
can.
exactly what I'm gonna do. Give me 1 second. I got you.
Oh yeah, Peace and Water was phenomenal. Uh,
Peace and water. Yes,
with,
yes, yes.
with that sample in the beginning too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on.
The viewer expression is, oh my God. Viewer discretion, really? No, it's not that bad, family. I promise. Y'all thinking it's
Yeah.
something that it's not.
The kid, y'all don't know how Sage get. I do. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Y'all don't know
That's
how
what I'm
Sage get.
saying. He trying to dumb it down for
Why?
y'all. I'm
Why?
telling
Yeah,
Because
y'all,
look,
he
man.
me and Juan,
did.
we both
Look,
know Sage.
man.
Sage get down. We ain't gonna say no. I ain't trying to embarrass Sage. Put him on the block.
It's
But
not that
Sage got a name
bad.
for himself, ladies and
Listen,
gentlemen. He got the thing on. They be like, "Oh, are you Tupac?" Be like, "Yeah, baby." He got
no,
it. Come on
no.
now, Sage, get down now. I ain't mad
Where
at
is
him.
my
I ain't mad at him.
Bible?
Sage get
I am a God fearing man. Where is my Bible at?
down.
The
Okay,
Lord
all right,
blessed me.
okay. But look, we're gonna play it now. I'm gonna just do it like this so you guys can hear. Let me know if you guys can hear it. It was a Tuesday night when I was invited to the club. We hopped off the flight to Memphis and it was all love. Y'all can hear that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I'm
can
gonna
hear
take
it.
it right back. It was a Tuesday night when I was invited to the club. We hopped off the flight to Memphis and it was all love. First class trip, spent chips, and I ain't talking dubs. But I bet you want my attention, but I'm on my Stevie Wonder vibes. I ain't really paying attention to these bottom feeders. I don't know why you begging for. You're not gonna get nothing out of me. What you see is what you don't get, to be honest with you. So maybe you should close your eyes and make sure you watch your step when you walk away. Ever since I was a youngin', I've been popping my collar, popping my collar, popping my collar. Ever since I can remember, I've been popping my collar, popping my collar, popping my collar. I'm a pimp, bitch. I don't spend cash without no ass. I ain't no simp, bitch. If I can know, you gotta go to the side of gang, bitch. Put some respect up on my name, this ain't a game, bitch. I'm on my pimp shit. I ain't giving no hold this pole. This pole gon' cost for sure. She better lay low. If she want more for sure. I'm tricking, I got it, yeah. I know she ride it. I want her body. If she want parts of my body. If she gon' get a ride tonight. If she ride it right, we can take a flight. If she grip it tight. Like, I ain't been this tight. Like, she ain't really my type.
One. Yeah, I hear that one, man.
Yeah, we gonna play a little something.
Can't wait for y'all to hear the production and the just the
And
music
I
on
want
that
y'all to
one.
keep this in mind. It's gonna sound a lot better because I'm playing this off of my phone, off of a phone on a microphone through a microphone. So the audio
Mm-hmm.
is a little distorted, you know what I'm saying? But it's gonna sound better when you hear it in person from your phone, you know. For the people who have not been able to see the YouTube, here it is right here. I'm gonna pull it up for you guys right here, right now. After I just shared the screen, I got to do that. I got to share the screen so you guys can see it. But this is it on YouTube. So everybody who's on YouTube, y'all go here. This is the topic. It's ASIS topic. Okay, you can go there. You can find all of this is the whole album right here. These are all of his albums, so you can view them all. I don't want to play anything, get a copyright strike or anything like that. But you got Shades of Black, Winter is Coming, all of these things. Then he has his singles up there. They have their singles up there, you know. So there y'all go. There we have it. Oh, where'd they go? All right, they're right here. Okay, cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, brothers, was y'all feeling that? Y'all like that? Was y'all feeling it? Fake asses. Why y'all people so damn negative?
It'd be like
People
that,
so
man. You
damn
know how I
negative.
go. You know how I go.
But where can people find you guys besides that?
Oh, you can find us if you want everything, like if you want a link to all the music, we do have a website. It's called BogartRecords.com. It's spelled BOGUARD records.com. That has a list of all of our music that we've ever created, even the people that we have signed under us. If you want to find us on social, mine is One Nation Under, WON Nation Under on all socials.
All right.
You can also find me on IG, call him .sage. You can also find me on X or Twitter, whatever they call it nowadays, at Sage Station. And you can also find me in Afro's chat. Yeah, I'm always accessible, family. Always.
The name of the album is called Made on the 4th. It'll be
And
out
it will
Friday.
all
Friday
streaming
everywhere.
platforms.
Yeah, everywhere you listen to music, YouTube, Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify. We will be posting the links. We will be posting teasers as we get closer to that date, which is about to be 24 hours away soon. And I really hope y'all like it. We work really hard on it. And we're gonna celebrate it on Friday for sure. It's gonna be our fireworks. Our fireworks.
Mm-hmm. Again, if you don't want to celebrate the 4th of July, celebrate it by listening or streaming this album. That's all I would say to the family. That's how you can
all Black
celebrate.
music.
Yes, stream Black music on the 4th of July.
All right, brothers. Thank you all very much. I will be posting your album on Friday, reminding everybody on the 4th. That's what they need to be doing, whether they at home, whether they working, whether they barbecuing, whatever. They need to be streaming your album. That's what they need to be doing. All right.
Yes, sir.
Much
I
love,
appreciate
brother.
y'all time.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Afro,
Where
thank
can they
you.
find you all individually?
You mean individual, like on social? Yeah, One Nation Under.
Yeah.
That's my personal, my personal socials is One Nation Under.
Okay. I didn't
Everywhere.
know if that was that or just for the music thing.
Oh yeah, that's me. Like, I post my entire life. I try to be as transparent as possible.
Respect that.
Y'all know how I get down already. So Sage Station on X and call him .sage on IG. I'm not on much other. I don't really have the time.
I get it. I mean, yeah, I get it. You making albums, you making music. I get it.
I'm busy.
That
We're
being said,
working. We got others coming up too, Afro. This may not be the last time you hear from us this year, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. What's this? We in July? Yeah, we got more time.
We'll see. There might be something coming up.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm
Yes,
looking forward to it.
Friday. Made on the 4th, Friday.
Yep.
The 4th, y'all. Well, thank you, brothers. Appreciate you all.
Appreciate
Black
you.
first as always.
All right. Well, there we go. Well, family, y'all got an album y'all need to be listening to. Y'all need to be ready to stream on the 4th. Okay. We discussed this was more so of a happier life. Okay. Tomorrow, though, we're gonna have to get into some of this breaking news. Everybody's talking about the situation going on with Diddy right now. If you guys didn't know, it's not really breaking news. Everybody's talking about it. That's all anybody's talking about right now. And it's okay. What we do here is we wait. We don't break the news. We give deep dive analysis of this news, which we will be doing tomorrow. But I want today to be focused on the music. So if we're going to be talking about music, it's summertime. We're talking about music. Let's talk about it. And I brought my good brothers, my good foundational Black American brothers, to promote their foundational Black American made album. Some we all need to get behind. We all need to support. Definitely, I'm going to be doing that. I hope you all are going to be doing that too. And if you guys do, and when you guys do, let me know what you guys think so I can let them know what you guys think. if you guys have not seen me on my social media, if you guys have not followed me, you guys can do that. That way you don't miss out on any of the notifications. So you guys make sure you guys are tuned in, not missing out on nothing. All right, please do that. And with that, I can't believe I almost forgot this. Y'all need to hit this like button. That's what y'all need to do. Y'all need to hit this like button. I'm talking into the microphone all slow and all that stuff. Hit that like button. I'm in that. Sage got me in a pimp mode right now with that song. He got me in the whole pimp mode. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in Netflix and chill mode right. Let me not even say that. This are children watching. What am I doing? That means I'd say that. It's not right. All right. But with that being said, my brothers and my sisters, y'all have a good one. I will see you guys tomorrow. All right. Black first to every single last one of you brothers and sisters. I appreciate y'all watching. Shout out to Sage and Juan for their album. Make sure y'all go stream that album. Now, with that being said, y'all have a good one. Y'all be blessed.